This is my third attempt at doing this video. Yeah, there's just a few people that are trying to call me, disrupting my little attempt at sharing some stories with you. So it's Wednesday, and the reasons I know that because the rubbish trucks have been, bins are still outside, and it's just gone lunch, 1 o'clock, and it's a very summery day. I'm a bit worried about climate change as usual, and I've got a story to tell. And the title to this vlog is called The Car is Found. So I'll put that in the description as well. So many years ago, I was a student at a Bible college, and one of the subjects that I elected to do, don't ask me why, was based on the concept of sharing your faith with people. And one of the bits of homework that we needed to do was to come up with a list of non-Christian friends. I think the idea was to try our methods on them, kind of a practice run. And I remember in class I drew up a list of 3 people. And I was very shocked at the fact that I could only consider 3 people to be 3 non-Christian friends, of which after that I found out that 2 were actually self-identified as Christians. So I was in trouble. How do you convert the one person that you have on your list as a non-Christian, who identifies as a non-Christian? So that was a clear point for me to decide to include non-Christians in my friendships, in my conversations. So coffee conversations is about bringing a stranger and making him a friend, regardless of his ethnicity, sexuality, or point of view and religion. So that's why, if you want to understand why I choose to hang out with invisibles, with outliers, that partly helps you to understand me. It's the season of Lent, and it's been good and deep, and in the depth I found gems of insights that I can apply into my life. And today's gem, if you are listening, for those listening, today's gem comes from Luke chapter 15. And this little parable doesn't make any logical sense. The bit that stood out to me now while I started reading it again is the parentheses. Now the tax collectors and the sinners were all gathering around to hear him. But the Pharisees and the teachers of the law muttered, "This man welcomes sinners and eats with them." And goes on to talk about the sheep. First the sheep that got lost, and then the coin that got lost. And there's a very clear section where the 99 sheep are left unattended, and the other coins that are left unattended, while the farmer and the woman goes in search of the one. And up until now, I didn't really mind this parable because, I grew up with it. Songs sung about it. I might have even acted as a sheep as a kid. Up until today, I thought, what about the 99? This should actually be in the parable of the 99 vulnerable sheep. And the farmer chooses to leave that behind, leave vulnerability behind, to find the lost one, to bring the lost into a state of protection. And has many alarm bells ringing, but more questions and more depth. So I I woke up at my usual. No, I woke up late this morning. Had a heavy day, and we'll talk about yesterday another day. And at this point in time, I really need to know that some friends of mine, one particular friend called Wayne Farrell, he's listening, because this little bit concerns you. So I go out to the driveway where the car used to be, and I find the car's not there. I let the chickens out at about 7. And as I let the chickens out, there's just big empty space. And you stand there for a good 5 seconds, and you figure out maybe it's somewhere else. Maybe there's some logical explanation to this. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. Call the cops. Cops came to the house, take my statement, call the mother, ask her to pray. While the cops are in the house, get a call from Wayne. And I tried to brush Wayne off, saying, dude, I know I owe you money, and, you know, and Wayne sells cannabis coffee, which is very important in this discussion. This could be a little plug, way to get more of this coffee sold, by the way. I'm trying to brush him off. He wants me to stay on the phone because someone has just called him, someone he doesn't know, and this Rastaman from the Rasta camp in Ocean View tells him he's just spotted a hot-wired car, and Wayne's business card was in the car. That's why, and it's my car. And I give the phone to the policeman, and he alerts his colleagues at Ocean View, and they go to the Rasta camp, and the car's not there. And then I call up the Rastaman and say to him, so where did you spot the car? And he goes on long time, and he says to me, I hope I'm going to get a reward from this. And in that moment that he asked for the reward, I didn't realize that it was ironic that Rastaman was looking for a reward, and the reward was actually coming from, Wayne had offered to put down somebody as a reward, completely separate to the situation. So the owner of the cannabis coffee is giving the money to the Rastaman for finding my car. But in that moment of lostness, I thought, I've now been put into the space of having something lost, having something that's necessary. I wouldn't say dear to me, but something that you get attached to, stuff that you need, as opposed to the stuff that you love. Have that thing taken away, and now you've got to reorientate, you've got to Uber. And in that moment, I'm brought close to the feeling of the shepherd, having that one sheep still not in the pen with others. And I can now safely say that I understand completely what it was like for him to stop what he was doing, head back, look with the pressure of the fading light, find the lost sheep, put it on his shoulders, back to the 99. In that case, it's not the parable of the 99, but the parable of the one found one. So I'm happy to be that one found person. I want to leave it there and want to make my foundness, want to celebrate my foundness. And the news just in is my car has been found. And it will make its way back to me at some point through the SAP system. But I want to celebrate foundness. And I think particularly in this season of Lent, as we think about the concept of being lost. And I was in a meeting yesterday where we discussed with the churches in Bishop what they could be doing, what they could be doing given the resources to deal with homelessness. And for me, homelessness is synonymous with lost. They've lost their way. And at some point in this blog, and I'm on to 10 minutes now, so I've got to cut it short at some point in time. Not this point in time. I'm going to introduce Greg Porter and the song about people that have lost their way, and I might try singing it. But for now, I'm going to say to you that when my response to someone who is lost is, I cannot walk past. Sometimes I have to step out of the light so that the light can shine, and sometimes I've got to be the light. So you think upon that, dear friend. I've got biscuits to make. Cheers.